high-tech oils, available from Auto One, Sprint Auto Parts, and all leading independent auto stores.
With a history spanning more than 40 years, Australian Formula Ford is arguably the most successful junior open wheel category anywhere, and its honour roll is remarkable. Perkins, Larkham, Ingle, McConville, Lowndes, Richards, Bright, Power, Tander, Whincup, Reynolds, Mostert and more. The list of former champions is as remarkable as the wheel-to-wheel racing that the category produces. They might just be 1600 cc's of fuel-injected Ford power, but this is a category about car control and learning how to put yourself in the right place at the right time when the inevitable slipstreaming battle reaches a thrilling conclusion. It may be heading towards middle-aged, but there's no midlife crisis in store about Formula Ford for 2015.
Welcome back to our coverage of the Shannons Nationals season opener for 2015. The Australian Formula Ford Series getting set for their first round of the championship, and Krause, another killer field.
A really good field, Matt, this year, and at a place where slipstreaming will be paramount. We'll get that traditionally great close Formula Ford racing. Well, Kaitlyn Wood made quite an impression on the series last year. She's back for a second season, looking to follow in the footsteps of successful drivers in the category, like Leanne Tander.
Well, this will be my second year at the National Australian Formula Ford Series. So last year was sort of my learning year, just getting myself up to speed and all that jazz. But previously, before Formula Ford, I did karting. I started that when I was 7, and yeah, I've just made my way through the ranks from there. It all started with my brother. He used to race karting, and there's a bit of an age gap between me and him, so I just grew up at the go-kart track. And as soon as I was 7, I was like, hey Dad, I want to go. And we did that for a while, and at first it was just a hobby, just like a family hobby, and then it turned into something a little bit more serious. I started competing in national karting series and all that sort of stuff, and then when I was 15, 16, I was like, hey Dad, I really, really like this, can we do a bit more? And yeah, we stepped up into Formula Ford. It seemed like the best option for me at the time. So last year was my first year of the National Series. Before that we did a few state rounds the year before, not with Synergy, just in an old car run by me, my father and my brother. And yeah, so last year was good. It was a really good learning curve. I learned a lot more stepping up into a team and the National Series, of course. And racing was tough, but it was fun, and it was really, really good. And we got a lot of track time last year with the Shannons Nationals, and yeah, it was a year that I needed to progress.
Highlights of race 2 from earlier today in the Australian Formula Ford Series, and Matt Nolte, this was a thriller.
We talk about Formula 3 and their open wheel slipstreaming type of racing. These guys do it even tougher, as Lazzaro put this pass on Mitch Martin early in the race down to turn number 1.
This was an ongoing battle. The teammates from Sonic Motor Racing, Hamish Hardiman and Christian Marina, second-year drivers in National Formula Ford. This was wild though. Hardiman dropped it on the run into Dandenong Road, and you wait till you see it from on board.
Nice, you can see it just oversteering the car through, then kept the wheels straight going through the grass. And this is the moment for Lewis Leeds when he went off the racetrack there in the Austrans sponsored entry.
Really was the action point. This was exciting. They were 4 wide for a moment and somehow all managed to get themselves sorted out before the braking zone at turn 1. Paul Ziddy spun the Spectrum and had some damage on his car, and on a restart there was some serious wheel banging going on.
Yeah, Thomas Maxwell very lucky not to end up back in pit lane with that wheel banging moment, as Christian Marina took the lead here. This was on board with Hardiman, just zips his way, in fact slides his way to retake that position to take the lead. And this was a gutsy pass from Spencer, who got himself up into second position with this late dive down the inside at Dandenong Road corner.
Breathless racing in race 2 of Formula Ford. Hamish Hardiman won race 1. Christian Marina won his first ever National Formula Ford race by winning race 2, which brings us nicely to race 3. The cars are lining up, and another slipstreaming display in store. I think there's some fast cars that'll be working their way through the field. There's some really feisty characters at the front of the field. 2 different winners from 2 races so far, Matt. So it really is anyone's game this weekend at Sandown.
Absolutely. On board with Kaitlyn Wood, who we caught up with earlier in the show, as our two form cars get set for this one. There is the grid, Christian Marina and Jake Spencer on the front row. Hardiman and Hill next, Mitch Martin, Nick Ellen, Kaitlyn Wood and Adrian Lazaro starting out of 8th.
The continuing battle between McGale and Spectrum. It's McGale's 1 through 4. The first Spectrum is Mitch Martin in P5. So the Aussie-built cars up against the French-built chassis. On board, Kaitlyn Wood. Not a brilliant start, but underway nonetheless in a 10-lap thriller here at Sandown. We're underway, and that looks like a good start from Christian Marina. It goes right down to the inside, the yellow line, with Hamish Hardiman in behind, just in this racing pack.
And already they went into slipstream mode. It was like a single file conga line of chaos down to 1, and everybody safely through.
And the 17-year-old leads them through, though. Gee, they start them young in Formula 4, don't they? And sort themselves out through turn 2 and 3. Now, this is probably one of the most crucial corners on the racetrack, because you need a good run out of there to get the toe up the back straight, which is a slipstreaming paradise. You get the hole in the air, the car in front punches, and you'll see that famous Formula Ford snake. They'll weave left and they'll weave right, and they'll try and sort themselves out and get a pass up into Dandenong Road. And we see that happening here in the battle for 2nd, 3rd and 4th.
So it's Marina that leads, but it's only 2 car lengths at the moment as a pass down the inside by the 5 gets denied. It's Damon Strongman gets denied. Kaitlyn Wood we're on board with now. Heading down into the final sequence of turns. The Synergy Motorsport entry, in fact, gets passed at the same time, which shows the right time to go on board, didn't we?
That happened quickly, didn't it? And you'll get the toe now as they come back onto the main straight here at Sandown in front of the big grandstand. Beautiful facility, this. And down towards turn 1. So it's Cameron Hill in the 11 car. He's in 2nd place, that Red McGale. 18-year-old from Canberra, right in the mix and still looking for his maiden National Formula Ford victory.
So 6 cars battling for the lead here on lap 2. We head up to the sharp left-hander. As Carlson mentioned before, this is crucial for your run along the back straight here. It looks like Marina just starting to break this train a bit. Cameron Hill is next in the red 11, the Colin Hill Engineering sponsored car from Canberra.
Yep, business student at TAFE at the moment. They're all so young, aren't they? And works at Coles, filling shelves and on the checkout to help fund his car racing, as you do. Real commitment there. Christian Marina's doing a good job, though. Out in front, his 2nd full year at a national level with the famous Sonic Motor Racing stable, Mick and Maria Ritter. Such an amazing race team with so much success over the years in this category. Marina leads. Hill is next. Spencer did a good job. The young Victorian in race 2 early on. I thought, despite having that damaged nose on his car, you can see he's got a different coloured replacement. But there's the slipstream. Hill takes the lead down at turn 1 away from Marina.
That textbook pass, wasn't it? So new leader on lap 3. Can Hill break through for a win here this weekend? What's Hardiman got for us back there in 10 car back in 4th position at the moment?
He'll be a factor. Pole sitter earlier on in the weekend. Ridiculously close qualifying as always in National Formula Ford. Just a couple of tenths covering the top 9 or so cars. Hugely close. Now Marina will fight back. Pulls out of the slipstream, and Spencer and even Hardiman may well go with him.
Oh, they're side by side.
Surely not 3 wide. I was going to say that'd be brave. Marina goes back in front. You can see that wonderful drift across the top of the hill there.
Hill just locked the brake momentarily on the right.
You could hear it, couldn't you? Yeah. Trying to get the thing stopped, that big heavy stop there, and the cars dance around in that change of direction. Great category for teaching car control, Formula Ford. Should mention 2 classes, the Fiesta-powered cars at the front of the field and the old Kent engine Formula Fords, Formula Ford 1600, still part of this. They run their own class throughout the year. Here goes Hill once again. It's the same as it was a lap or 2 ago, and he'll retake the lead once again. And it really is a matter of positioning yourself, Matt, getting yourself in the right place for the final lap. You almost don't want to lead the start of the last lap, because you might well be hung out to dry by everyone getting past you in a straight line on that run to the flag.
Yeah, exactly right. It's almost like watching the last lap of Indy during the Freedom 100 race, for example, where you'd rather be 6th and know you're going to win coming off the last corner. Now we've got 7 cars duking it out here. The 11 of Hill has got back the race lead. You can be forgiven for thinking it was lap 3, as again, same pass as what we saw before. This is great stuff.
This time didn't get quite the same run, and he's driven off the road. Marina hangs on to it. That's a wild moment. Over 200 k's an hour, but held on. And Spencer now goes down the inside and contact, and Marina fed off the road again.
Wow. Right rear will always beat the left front, won't it? Any kind of motor racing. I reckon that car's off in the gravel.
That was a wild sequence for Christian Marina. Squeezed out wide on the run to the top of the hill. Then Spencer went down the inside at Dandenong Road. There was contact, and the Ford car is nowhere. Wow.
And all of a sudden, Mitch Martin is in there, so it's exploded at the half-race distance lap. So Hill's got a breathing gap between himself and the rest of the field now as we start lap 5.
Well, Spencer did what he needed to do by taking that opportunistic move and getting down the inside, because poor old Marina was still getting himself together after that wild moment over the top. This is some slow-mo a lap before of them bouncing over the curb on that run down to Dandy Road. That's super cool, isn't it?
Such a cool corner. And this is when Hill put the pass on Marina heading down the main straight for the second time.
Now, I'm keen to see what happened across the back, because they were side by side. So here it is. Look at him just getting squeezed over, yellow line there.
Bit cheeky, wasn't it?
Well, Cameron Hill was just sort of moving across. He must have thought he was clear and was just moving across to take a better entry into the left-hander that plunges off the top of the hill at the back of Sandown. I'm not sure that's anyone's fault. I think racing incident. But Christian Marina did an amazing job to not end up in the fence there. And then unfortunately was just minding his own business down at Dandenong Road and got helped off into the gravel and didn't have damaged rear suspension after that contact.
So Hardiman moves up to second place now. The 22-year-old from Rosebud in Victoria. Doing good things now. Former Victorian SA Formula Ford champion.
Yes, racing. Formula Ford, welcome back.
Didn't know the championship was going down to the wire in round 1. This is great.
Right, the third race of the year.
Great scene setter for this year's championship, of course. Krause on their way too. The winner of the championship gets the test drive in the US Formula Ford 2000 car there, the Mazda Road to Indy project that's on this year.
Yeah, which is an amazing platform they've established over there in the States. Dan Anderson Promotions, really now controlling the whole road to Indy. It starts at USF 2000. Hardiman with the biggest lose you'll ever see.
Wow.
Oh, man. How he only nerfed that thing in the tyres rather than destroying a car is unbelievable.
That was seriously gone. The replay of this is going to be epic.
Wow.
Right in the closing stages, and he's right down towards the back of the field now.
I mean, at the end of the year, we go through and collate all the biggest moments of the... That's it.
That's
right
it.
There. It's all over. Hand it to Hamish Hardiman on a platter. The race 1 winner goes around in a massive way at one of the fastest, most daunting parts of this racetrack. Wow.
Here's a replay of it. Look at this. And it's just clipped the inside of the curb. That's what's unloaded the 10 and spears off down to a point where it's just some tyre barriers. Watch this. Goes just the inside of the curb.
And it just yanked the car around on him. Nothing he could do when he got that wheel over the other side of the curb. And how he didn't have a massive crash, I do not know. And the last thing he'll want to see is see it in slow-mo, but we'll take it. Here's the great escape for Hamish Hardiman.
Victorian flag marshalling team, one of the members there, missed the whole action.
Wow. There's still 2 laps to go. It's still anyone's race. Cameron Hill, the Canberran, out in front, has still got a couple of car lengths. He's clear of the toe from everyone behind. This is a battle for 3rd place. And 2nd and 4th and 5th, they're all in there.
Almost down to 10th, really, isn't it, when you think about it? They're stacking up. Down to Dandenong Road corner once again. Mitch Martin, I like the shot here. The VHT-sponsored 38.
Adrian Lazzaro's found himself up to 2nd place, so he's been there or thereabouts all weekend long. There's Christian Marina, so still on track, and important that he gets to the flag mat because championship points. It's a long campaign. He wants that USF 2000 drive at the end of the year, so he just needs to score points at every round.
Here's the 21 of James Crozier coming past and chased down there by the Austrans entry.
Oh, on top of your screen, you can see the leaders going at it too as they went down into turn 1.
Uh-oh.
This is interesting for the minor position. Start of the final lap. There's the leading queue. This is a fight for the bottom half of the top 10 because there's 6 cars now in a freight train for the race lead.
Lewis leads and got past Crozier, so he's moved up another position here. Puts him up into 6th place on the last lap of what's been an amazing season opener, the Australian Formula Ford Series today at Sandown.
Hasn't it been remarkable? What a fight. What drama. Here's the lead.
Dear.
5 cars fighting it out for the win. Cameron Hill in front, looking to make it 3 different winners from 3 races. And off the road, he dropped it off the road, Lazaro. It's going to cost him. He's lost a bunch of spots on the run into the final few corners. Cameron Hill is going to win a breathless race 3 at Sandown. Spencer somehow is going to get home 2nd and Mitch Martin 3rd. But Cameron Hill wins his first race in the Australian Formula Ford Series. And if that's not race of the year in 8 or 9 months' time, it's going to take something very, very special to beat it.
Also makes him the 3rd different winner of the weekend as well. So variety is the key here in Formula Ford once again. As Hill takes the win from Spencer, Mitch Martin was 3rd, Nick Ellen in 4th, Adrian Lazaro dropped back to 5th, and Kaitlyn Wood, good job to her in 6th position, over the pace to Crozier. Christian Marina, who got up to 10th in the end, and unfortunately for Jimmy Bailey, it was all over.
Yeah, it's been a really good weekend, really up and down. Didn't get the qualifying result we were after, but we just chipped away at it all weekend, and the car was really good and managed to pull off the race win in the final race.
In that last race, I knew I had to finish with 2nd or 3rd to win the round after Hamish had a spin over the top. So after that, yeah, just look to finish and keep my nose out of trouble.
Yeah, what a start. And there is the championship. It's really tight. That damage to Christian Marina's day only sees him 4 points behind Jake Spencer. Cameron Hill is next. Hamish Hardiman drops down to 4th at the end of the race weekend. Mitch Martin, Nick Ellen, Adrian Lazaro and Kaitlyn Wood. We've got to take a breath, Krause, because that was insane racing.
It won't be a long breath, though, because after the break, the thunder and the noise of the Kerrick Sports Sedan Series coming your way right after this.